I'm going to change a headlight bucket in here. I already changed one for the high beam, but I'm going to change one for the low beam, and I'll do that on camera. And I'm going to change this this plug, this wiring harness that goes to the headlights. And that's a little bit tricky. There is a trick to that because it doesn't come with a straight plug-in, because these won't fit through this hole right here. So you got to put these through that hole, and then you got to assemble this plug fitting onto it. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the bezel off, which is no big deal. You just take a Torx. On my truck, it's a T25 Torx. It could be anything, because this doesn't have to be for this truck. This could be for any truck or any car. I'm going to take these off, take this thing out. You take this outer ring off your headlight. In my case, there's 4 screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. This one I just took off. And then you unplug your headlight off the back and set your headlight down out of the way someplace. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off, and since I'm changing a bucket too, I'm going to take this bucket off too. And the way I'm going to do that, there's a spring right here. I'm going to put a little hook in that spring, or I can grab it with needle nose pliers, or I can put a little hook in it, and I'm going to pull that spring off, set it aside, and then I'm going to wiggle this bucket out of these adjusting screws, this one here and this one here, and hopefully I don't have to move those adjusting screws. Hopefully I can just put the new bucket in without moving those screws and then having to mess with my headlight adjustment afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off just with these 4 screws and pull that light out right now. I brought a couple of different hooks out here. This is a more expensive set, and they're a little bit bigger handles and whatnot. But this little one from Harbor Freight, they're like $5 for a set of 4 of these, with one's straight, one's bent at an angle, one's a hook. There's a third one that does something else, or fourth one does something else. Anyway, you can use these if you got a Harbor Freight near you. You can just get these there, or you can use the needle nose pliers if you don't have a hook. You can do it either way. It both work. And then I want to try to get this bucket off of here without messing with the adjustment. This is adjusting screw here, and there's one here. This one's for how high or low your headlights are aiming, and this one is for keeping it left and right. So that bucket's really not in bad shape. Let me show you what came out of the other side. These are the 2 buckets that came out of the other side. I think they were ready to be changed. In fact, this one is, it's not even complete circle anymore. So they're pretty bad. Okay, now you gotta take your smartphone or somebody else's and snap a picture of these colored wires with this lump that I just unlocked, with that facing up, get a picture. Oh, my phone don't want to work. I have to restart it. Okay, snap a picture of that thing right there. And remember that this knob is up. This is locked on here too. I don't have a small screwdriver here. I'd like to have one, but I don't. I'm going to try to do it with this test light. I don't want to go back to the toolbox. This is a Freightliner FLD. If you're doing this on a KW or a Chevrolet pickup truck or something else, it might be different. I'm sure it will be different. What we got to do is get this thing off of here. It's old and it's kind of breaking a little bit. It's brittle, but it holds the wires in place. There, got that off of there. Set that aside. Then you got to go inside here and press these wires down. I got to find my new wire. Here it is. Here's my new one. Okay, if you look at these, I'm trying to get in the camera there. They got these little locks right here sticking up. Okay, see that in there? That little tab in there. On these, you don't touch them. They need to be up like that. On these, down here, we got to push those down so we can get those wires out of there. But if you don't take a picture of this, you better write down what these colors are, because they have to be right. You can reach in here with a test light or in that little kit of picks from Harbor Freight, they've got one in there that's real small. It'll fit in there. And you got to put this back on, and remember, this goes up. And this goes in this way. So we're going to spray that with something so that it'll come out of there. Now I'm going to get this big screwdriver, since I don't have a little one over here. Push this down in there. Okay, now that pulls out from the other side. I pulled one of these headlight buckets out again, so I can fish these wires through there. This one with 3 goes to the low beam. The low beam's always on the outside. If there's one over the other, then it goes to the one on top. Now both of these are 3, but only one of them has 3 wires in it. One of them's got a blank. That one goes to the low beam, which is over here. guess I should have fished it through from this side. Anyway, I'm going to stick this through that hole. Pull those wires through. And then we got to pull it all the way through and pull this part through that hole. I'm doing this all wrong. The way I'm going, I should have had this one out, this bucket over here out. So let me stick this in this side where I can see right into that hole. And I gotta feed this back over here. This one goes here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my headlights in. Just read the name or the label, and this should be reading right side up. I'll have your and this one will fit in there, lock in there snug just like that. And the same with this one. Yeah, everything looks good on the inside. We just got to pull that wire through. We'll go ahead and put these on. Now I got to find that hook. I mean that spring. The spring goes in this bottom hole here. This hole here, the headlight goes in there. And this flat corner up here, okay, each corner has, am I getting this in video? Okay, each corner's got a little recessed notch in it, or 3 corners do and 1 doesn't. The one that doesn't is for your headlight. It's for this big knob on your headlight. The little ones go, each one of those goes in one of these little notches in here, and this flat one here is for the big one. It goes in there. Keeps you from putting them in wrong, because if you look over here on the high beam side, the flat spot's over here. This is the low beam. It's got the big lump over here. The high beam has the big lump on this side. It's not much bigger, just enough bigger that it will not sit in these little notches in here. Now you can put dielectric grease on this if you want to. And I probably will. But I'm going to get those colors straight first. 'Cause I forgot which ones they were. I think the green was in the middle. I think the red was on this end. I think the green was in the middle. Find my phone. Nope. The green was down here on this end. The black was on that end. The red was in the middle. Let's see. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, there's like a key slot inside of here. So they have to go, when this is up, they have to go with the hollow side. You just have to look in there and make sure the hollow side's going to be up. I don't know if you heard that, there was a click. Red's in the middle. Too much of this tubing over it, I can't, I should have had them all on a head start first. Some of this tubing out of the way. Okay, push them in until they click and they don't come back out. I'll fight with that for a minute. I got them all in there. I had to pull two of them out, twist them a little bit, push them in. They tried to go in twisted. So, and I used this little needle nose pliers to grab a hold of it to help push it in there. I'm going to take a little bit of this grease here and put that on here. I don't know what I'm getting on camera. Sorry. Put a little dab of that on there, not much, just a little bit. Help keep those clean. That's dielectric grease. I don't know if we can get that where it shows up. I think it's showing there. Oh, if you need to order that, let's see, it's got to have a number on it. Let's see, does that number show up there? I think it does, 22058. Oh, I forgot to put that thing. I forgot to put this on there. I still got room to do that. It's broken anyway, but I still want it on there. It's too old and brittle, it didn't want to come off good. Okay, there we go. I'll put a zip tie on it. This one's not in that hole. I don't know if it's supposed to be or not. I changed one of these years ago on this truck. It might have been this one out here. Oh, I hit a deer one time. I think that got broken, yeah. Huh. Zip tied its plastics all the way full in that hole. It's no good. I think this one is too. No, that goes through. This one will go through. Okay, this one here is where I plug in my motor, my block heater. I just leave that hanging there and I plug it in at work with that. Okay, thanks for watching.